Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we're taking a break from the slap heard around the world and from politics and from bad teachers at Whitney Young High School to talk about saving lives of young children, and a lot of them who play sports in high school. Every year, thousands of young people die from sudden cardiac arrest, and there's no AED device nearby to help save their lives. Well, one family is trying to make a difference, and that is Bob Snyder and his wife, Michelle. And Bob joins us right now on our Turnkey.pro answer line. Good morning, Mr. Snyder. How are you?
I'm okay, Amy. I love the fact that we're sponsored.
Yes.
That reminds me of the good old days of radio.
Yes. Bob, in case you don't know, Mr. Snyder was well, tell us your past in radio, because I don't know your whole resume.
Yeah, I guess of relevance, it was the 4 years of being the general manager of ESPN 1000, and
nice.
We ended up raising our kids, in Chicago between 2000 and 2014.
Okay, and tell us about Jenny, your daughter, and she was about to start her senior year at high school. She was playing club soccer, and then the unthinkable happened.
Yeah, Michelle, has I'm going to pass it to her. She's got a good feel for that, and that unfortunate night when I was in Indianapolis.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. So, Jenny was a seemingly healthy 17-year-old. It was the beginning of her senior year of high school at Glenbrook North, and she went to play soccer. And she had been a soccer player for years, and she'd always been an athlete. And just very active. And when she went to play, I got a phone call that she had collapsed on the field, and I thought that she fainted. And so I said, okay, she's fine. And then the next thing I know, they said, meet us at the hospital. So what I learned in retrospect is that she collapsed on the field. She was running, and she just collapsed. And the only thing that could have saved her, because what we didn't know at the time, is that her heart had stopped beating. And the only thing that can bring someone back definitively is a shock from an automated external defibrillator or an AED. Because what that does is it starts the rhythm going again. And then with that and CPR, you wait until the ambulance arrives, and then you can save someone's life. But there was no AED there. And so what we also learned is that she had an undetected heart condition that she was born with. We had no idea.
Michelle, are you there?
Her heart.
You cut out for a second. What we last heard was you said you had no idea that she had a heart condition.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, so we had no idea she had a heart condition. Hers was structural, meaning that you could look at the heart and see it, but no one knew. And then there are a lot of kids that have an electrical condition, which has to do with the beating of the heart and the rhythm of the heart. So there are different things you could have. But again, CPR and an AED is the only definitive way to restart a heart. And there was none available on the field that night.
And unlike, but she passed her physical. I mean, that's all these kids that have died from sudden cardiac arrest, they passed their physicals, correct?
Absolutely. She had a physical maybe a month before, and if anybody has kids out there, you go, you take them in, they look at your child, but they don't test their heart.
Yep.
And so what we advocate for is EKGs, and we think every child should get an EKG. You can ask your doctor for one, and it's not foolproof because it doesn't catch everything, but it will catch 6 out of 10 situations that you would know about. And in Chicago, there are organizations that do it for free at schools. So if that's something that anyone is interested in learning about, you could check jennysmission.org. And you'll find information and a way to get in touch with us.
So after this tragic event, and I know you're not alone, I saw your piece that you did on the Today Show, or that Jenna Bush did with you and others who lost their children way too soon. You decided to do something about it and be proactive. Tell us about Jenny's mission.
So Jenny, we decided that we wanted to do something to make sure this didn't happen to other youth, and we knew it was happening. It happens all around the country. You know, it's the number one cause of death, leading cause of death for student athletes. And the truth is, it's not just athletes. It's anyone who has a heart condition, any young person can suffer sudden cardiac death. So what we decided to do is focus on reducing sudden cardiac death in youth by granting and installing publicly accessible AEDs on outdoor playing fields around Chicago. And the key there is publicly accessible, because it's really important for the AEDs not to be locked up in a closet somewhere. I mean, we've had children that have passed away because there's an AED in another room and no one has a key. So the idea of it being publicly accessible outdoors is really important to us.
And these aren't cheap. I mean, how much does an AED cost?
An AED cost, the whole thing we know we can cover with putting it outdoors, getting a heated cabinet, having electrical lines laid down if they don't have it, if they don't already have that, because you have to keep it heated, obviously, in Chicago. The cost for the AED itself is around $1,000, $1,200, but the cost for all of it can go up to $5,000. So somewhere between $2,500 and $5,000 is what we end up granting out for the AEDs.
So you guys actually pay for the AEDs to go into the schools, and is there some part of the government funded aspect to this?
No, from a funding standpoint, that it's all private. At least today, we are in a position where we look to other foundations for potential grants so that we could increase our grants. But it's all private fundraising and has been for over a decade.
I love it, and keep it that way, please.
Yeah, and how many AEDs have you put on soccer fields around Illinois? And have you expanded from Illinois? Are you doing other states as well?
Amy, we've really stayed in the Chicagoland. I think maybe that's an emotional thing. Obviously, what we're doing is probably needed in so many places, but our heart's there and Jenny's there, and so it's kind of made sense to stay within a geography that we understand. So we've put out almost I think over 20 AEDs since we started this, and the mission changed a couple of years ago just for clarity, where we were originally working with towns, and then those towns would service all their fields. It sort of became much more accessible. We became more accessible by promoting the fact that we'd like to set up these AEDs for anybody in the Chicagoland area, and the only thing you have to do is jump on our website and apply for the grant. If you know of a field that children, youth play, and that might not likely be serviced with an AED.
All right, what is that website right now? Because people will be calling in and texting us. I don't want to miss it. What's the website where they can jump on if they know that there's a field that needs an AED?
You got it. It's jennysmission.org.
jennysmission.org.
jennysmission.org. Really nice and simple, and the mission is simple to get those AEDs. The closest Michelle and I will ever feel to some kind of real consolation is when we find out someday that one of these AEDs that we granted out saved a 14-year-old on a soccer field.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You don't want it to happen, but we'd sure like to be on the good end of that.
And I'm just did AED training for coaching, and you can do this, right, Bob? It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. If somebody,
it's incredibly easy, Amy. It's just the easiest thing.
Yeah.
You open the cover. I would urge people not to be scared. If someone faints and they're down and they're not conscious, grab the AED. You'll open it. It'll say, take pads out. It'll show you where the pads are. There's pictures. There's step-by-step instructions. And you cannot hurt someone who's had a sudden cardiac arrest, because technically they are not alive.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't need the shock, it won't shock them.
Right.
And if it does, it will. It's easy. It's like foolproof. They've done tests, and I think like third graders can do it.
Yeah,
so it's just a matter of not being scared and remembering you can't hurt the person.
Yeah,
There's nothing bad you can.
when I was a cop in Champaign, we actually had them in our squad cars. So I mean, I'm
Did
trained.
anybody that you know ever had to use it?
They've had to use them. They've had to use them.
And they
before.
saved lives.
They save lives. You guys have an event coming up as well?
Yeah, we do. Thanks. On May 15th, a Sunday morning, we were able to get with the folks at Catalyst Ranch, which is quite an eclectic event space in the West Loop. And we're going to have a brunch, in part to recognize all the fields that we've been able to grant AEDs so far. Representatives will all be there, and it's we're calling it Jenny's Mingle.
Oh,
and it's really a chance, just a chance to almost thank the community that's been so supportive over the last decade. Show everybody what we're doing going forward. There's going to be an AED distributor there who will be able to show how to use an AED and why, as Michelle said, it's so simple. And we're told that there's going to be a heck of a brunch. So the tickets for that are $65 Sunday morning, May 15th, and everything can be looked at and paid for and all that on jennysmission.org.
that's great. Well, Bob and Michelle Snyder, I think about you all the time. I remember when this happened, and it's just heartbreaking, but I think your daughter would be so proud of you and all that are helping and putting 20 AEDs on the fields. I know that you will save lives. I can just feel it. So thank you two so much for your time, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks. It's really nice of you to dedicate some attention to this, and it does seem relevant and important in so many lives. So thanks, and good luck to you all.
Thanks, and hopefully we'll see you May 15th. And they joined us both on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Your show keeps me alive during the week. There's nobody I'd rather listen to between 5 and 9 in the morning than you guys.
On AM 560, The Answer.
If your money is not earning at least 2.5% guaranteed as well as tax deferred, you need to call Professional Life and Casualty. Professional Life and Casualty is offering a 2.5% guaranteed APR on new funds deposited into your annuity, traditional IRA, or Roth IRA accounts. Rate subject to change. Please call to confirm. With Professional Life and Casualty, you pay no surrender charges, no administrative fees, and no withdrawal fees. Professional Life and Casualty has been providing peace of mind insurance and annuity products for over 60 years. Visit plcinsurance.com. plcinsurance.com. They'll send you a free guide to tax-deferred, no-fee annuities. Learn about a 2.5% guaranteed APR return on annuity, traditional IRA, or Roth IRA with no surrender charges, no administrative fees, and no withdrawal fees. And peace of mind, only from Professional Life and Casualty. Call 1-800-651-1800. That's 1-800-651-1800, or online at plcinsurance.com. That's plcinsurance.com.
Hi, it's Amy. And as you know, Mike Lindell has a